Hi, I Frank. Frank like Transformer. Frank get new Transformer today. It monster, like Frank. Cool, scary. It's got button on top. What button do? Fire! Fire bad! Welcome to Patriot Prime Reviews. Happy Halloween!
House of Fire! House of Fire! Yeah! All right!
Hey guys, welcome to Patriot Prime Reviews and part 2 of my ongoing series on G1 gimmicks. Today's video is we're going to go over sparking toys. Now who doesn't like sparklers? They're the staple of every 4th of July picnic and a gimmick that's been utilized in toys since way back in the day. They were in wind-up toys, space guns, robots, what have you, and you even see a few toys utilize that gimmick today. I mean, it's a toy that shoots sparks. What could go wrong? So in 1987, Hasbro decided to add the sparking gimmick to their line of Transformers. In 87, we were introduced to the Monsterbots, and then in 88, Sparkabots and the awesome Firecons. So, let's check out this cool gimmick and how awesome that is. Okay, now there were only 9 toys from the G1 line that featured sparks. The Monsterbots here in the back, the Sparkabots in the middle, and the Firecons there in the front. Now the sparks could not be used in robot mode, only in monster or vehicle form. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go over the Monsterbots first, and I'll show you how that feature worked in them. Now the Monsterbots were released in 1987. They featured sparking gimmicks which launched sparks from the creature mouths or the chest, in Double Cross's case here. The sparks were activated by pushing a button that in turn spun a wheel that hit the flint inside. Now this is Repugnus, Grotesque, and Double Cross. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to transform these guys into monster mode and show you how the feature worked. Alright, the Monsterbots are now in their creature modes. We have Repugnus, the insect monster, Grotesque, the evil winged gerbil beaver, and Double Cross, the two-headed dragon. Now, I said earlier that the feature does not work in their robot mode, not character. So it's robot mode that the gimmick does not work. And just to show you, there's a button on each figure that you press that activates the wheel inside that hits the flint. So let's turn off the light a little bit. And you see the sparking feature in action. Now, Repugnus here is the best one I have. And that's saying a lot considering these toys are 30 years old. Grotesque, his button there on top of his head, he's supposed to shoot the fire out of his mouth. Let's see. There we go. Well, he works better than I thought. And Double Cross, his button's on his back, and he actually shoots sparks out of his chest. You push the button, it activates this little saw blade gimmick, moves up and down. He's the weakest one of the bunch. But still, considering these toys are 30 years old and that sparking gimmick works as good as it does, I'm impressed. So now we'll move on to the more simpler figures, the Firecons and Sparkabots. Okay, so here are the Sparkabots and the Firecons. These guys are much simpler than the Monsterbots. They are smaller figures that transform very, very easily from robot to vehicle. Now, how the Sparkabots work, so I'll go ahead and transform all of them, is just like the Monsterbots, the sparks do not work in their robot mode, only their vehicle mode. So here we have Guzzle, sizzle, and fizzle. There we go. Now how these work is they've got the little friction wheel at the bottom, which you'd spin them on the ground, which would cause the sparks to come out of their exhaust. Now unfortunately, all three of these guys do not work for me. And like I said, they are old toys, 30 years old, and the feature just doesn't work. I've tried and tried and can't get them to fire off, but use your imagination, if you will. You're rolling these guys along the ground, and sparks are shooting out their exhaust ports. I've been in the military myself. I've never noticed a tank to go fast enough to do that, but you can see the rust in there. Great looking figure, but the gimmick is shot. So enough with the Sparkabots. Now we'll go into the Firecons. These guys suck. They are terrible, terrible looking Transformers. I mean, there's the robot mode. It's just a block. There's no arm articulation. Legs go up and down, but they're just the monster backwards. So I keep these guys displayed on my shelf in monster mode because monster mode doesn't look too bad. And monster mode is how the sparks work. So let me transform these guys real quick. Very, very simple. These are very simple figures. This is Flame Feather, Cinder Soar, and Spark Stalker. Now, Spark Stalker is the only one of these guys I have that actually still work. Just like the Sparkabots, you have to roll them along the ground to catch the wheel to make the sparks shoot out. And with these guys, the sparks shoot out of the mouths. So let me get him in position, move these guys out of the way. Turn the light off and let's see if I can get him to work for you. Just give you an idea how he works. There we go. Roll him along. And that is the Generation 1 Firecons. All right, there you have it. That's your sparking Generation 1 Transformers. The Monsterbots, Firecons, and Sparkabots. Now, while not great figures, aside from the Monsterbots, they're awesome. They're pretty good additions to your collection, and as far as the little guys, you can pick them up cheap. Now, unfortunately, just like mine, you may get them where their sparking gimmicks don't work. Unfortunately, none of my Sparkabots do. Lucked out with a couple of Firecons. Now, the Monsterbots, you can usually find these guys still working. They were made a little bit better. But these guys will cost you a little bit more, especially if you want to get one complete with their weapons. And that's it for my review on this Generation 1 gimmick. Please give me a like or subscribe. I plan on making a lot more of these videos, and I appreciate you watching. This is Patriot Prime, signing out. Be good to each other.